John 1:14, "The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth." Skeptics may use John 1:14 to argue that Jesus, as the Word became flesh, is a created being or subordinate to God. However, this verse explicitly affirms the incarnation of the eternal Word and his divine nature, showcasing both his deity and humanity. The Word became flesh. The term Word, Greek logos, in John 1:1 establishes Jesus' divinity. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. By stating that the Word became flesh, John highlights the miracle of the Incarnation, where Jesus, fully God, took on human nature to dwell among humanity. Philippians 2:2, 6-7 echoes this truth. "Who, being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness." Made his dwelling among us. The phrase, "made his dwelling among us," Greek eskenosen, literally means pitched his tent, drawing parallels to God's presence in the tabernacle during the Exodus, Exodus 25:8. Just as God's glory dwelled among his people in the Old Testament, Jesus embodies God's presence in the New Testament. The glory of the Son. John 1:14 emphasizes Jesus' divine glory. "We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son." The term one and only, Greek monogenes, signifies Jesus' unique and eternal relationship with the Father. Hebrews chapter 1:3 confirms this. "The Son is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of his being, full of grace and truth." The phrase "full of grace and truth" reflects God's character as revealed in the Old Testament. Exodus 34:6 describes God as abounding in love and faithfulness, which corresponds to Jesus' embodiment of grace and truth. This connection affirms Jesus as the fulfillment of God's promises and his divine nature. Question: if John 1:14 describes Jesus as the Word became flesh, how can skeptics deny his deity when the same chapter declares the Word was God, John chapter 1:1, and that he is full of grace and truth, Exodus 34:6?